Another day, another dollar. Thank the Lord for another 24. God, I knew that was you. Quick correctional officer video for those that don't know or that are finding this video. I've been a correctional officer for 13 years now. I've worked at 3 different facilities, 1 county jail, 2 different federal prisons. I'm gonna give y'all some insight on my opinion on if being a RoboCop or the officer that's like the hard ass all the time on the inmates, always busting the inmates' ball every chance they get. Is that the approach? Is that a good approach, or is that the approach that you need to take working as a correctional officer? Some people that may be coming into corrections as a rookie, you may be wondering what style or what approach you should approach the job, as far as working as a correctional officer. Should I go in there, be tough, macho all the time, walk around with my chest out, stuff like that, hey, inmate, get over here right now, stuff like that. Hands on the wall stuff. It's like the state trooper mentality. He got the crew cut. He got the aviator shades on. You was going 5 miles over, man. He ain't going to cut you a break. If you catch you, pull you over, you already know you're getting a ticket. Like that type of mentality, And I feel, as far as if you do you need to take that approach, to get respect from the inmates or not? I feel like you don't necessarily have to, and I'm gonna explain why. As long as you are fair, firm, and consistent with the inmates, and you respect the inmates, you will get respect, and you will get them to do what you need them to do. The number one thing in corrections is not about being the tough guy. It's not about proving your manhood, trying to go in there and play cowboy, always trying to be quick, to body slam the inmates, put hands on the inmate, get into verbal altercations with the inmate. You got to think. When you think and you use this up here and the next thing you use is this, it makes the job a whole lot easier. The main tool working as a correctional officer at your disposal is your mouthpiece. You have to have good communication skills, working with the inmates. You got to know how to get them to do what you want them to do, with as far as and using least amount of force as possible. That's the idea goal. That's the end game right there. At the end of the day, if you can get them to do what you need them to do without having to put hands on them, things like that, then you won. You ain't got to go in there, from the get-go. I'm finna go in here, try to body slam an inmate, man, and set the tone from the beginning and let them know I'm not playing around. No, that's that wrong approach, and it makes for a long career, and you got to think too. When you go into it with that mentality, you constantly getting into altercations, stuff like that. You're possibly creating an unsafe work environment, because you got to think, let's say you always quick to try to put hands on an inmate, you body slamming, got all these takedowns, stuff like that. Not only are you putting yourself at risk as far as possibly being injured, possibly injuring an inmate, excessive force, you got to think about your coworkers. You hit your body alarm, or you say you need assistance, they running, this and that. Somebody's to slip and fall, tear an ACL, break a leg, So you got to think of stuff like that. It's not just about you trying to prove your manhood or how tough you is. Oh, I'm finna go in here and try this new karate move. I'm finna try to drop kick one of these inmates in the face, man. Soon put their head through the wall like it's WWF. No, it's not about being tough. You got to put your pride to the side, leave your ego at the door, But by all means, now, if something go down, and that's all, and it's difference between life and death, inmate trying to stab you, you got to do what you got to do. I'm talking about when you are unnecessarily, trying to incite the inmates, you trying to pick fights and battles, stuff like that, And this is the next thing I want to get into, always enforce, the important rules, but you got to remember now, especially when you've been working on the job and you start to learn how things go, you got to use some discretion. That's a big one too in corrections, as far as like, you can't write the inmates up for every little thing. You know what I mean? Yes, you technically can, but you're going to see once you've been in for a while, you trying to write up the inmates for every minor little infraction. Oh, they was a few minutes late on the move coming back to the unit. Oh, this inmate had his shirt off when he was coming from the shower. Oh, it's too many inmates in this particular area. They watching the football game. stuff like that. You can't write them up for every little thing, man. You know, for one, it's going to make for a long day. It's going to be a lot of paperwork. You're going to burn yourself out. For two, you know, you're going to have some supervisors, you know, you try to write the inmates up for every little minor infraction. They going to laugh at you like, man, they're going to probably sit you down. You know, they're going to be like, you got to use some discretion. You know, I know you want to do a good job. I know you want to write, you know, enforce the rules and stuff, but you have to learn how to use discretion. When I mean that, by that is, you know, certain things, you know, they're so minor that it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to write the inmate up. You know, you can give them a verbal counseling, you know, don't let it happen again. Be faster, you need to make the move, you know, stuff like that before you try to just write somebody up. Because, you know, it's not a perfect job. You're not dealing with the most upstanding people in society. You know, the inmates are going to try to do little things. They're going to, you know, try to get away with little stuff. You know, you just got to use discretion, you know, and you got to run your unit how you want to run it at the end of the day. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you how to run your unit. I'm just telling you that'll make your job a little easier when you use discretion, you know, as far as what you want to enforce. You know, always, though, enforce the major things, you know, like as far as when it comes to like counting the inmates, they're supposed to stand up for count, you know, inmate accountability, you know, the inmates making sure they're not getting high, trying to escape, fighting, stabbing each other, trying to harm themselves, trying to harm you. You always enforce those type of rules. But I'm talking about the minor things, you know, like I said, the move just ended. You got an inmate that's a few minutes late, couple minutes late, stuff like that. You got an inmate with a tank top on. He's supposed to be in a t-shirt, stuff like it's the weekend. Inmate may have missed his door for lockdown by a couple minutes. You just got to use discretion, you know. And like I said, at the end of the day, you got to run the unit how you want to run it. You know, I'm just saying from experience, you know, and seeing other officers do that, man, it makes for a longer day. You'll be drowning in paperwork. It's like it's not enough time in the day, you know, to try to enforce every minor infraction. And like I said, you know, the lieutenants, the sergeants, the supervisors, man, some of them, man, you know, they old school. They're like, they probably throw that out. It's been times where I wrote up an inmate for something and they kind of threw it out, you know, and I was like, you know, I didn't get mad about it. Another officer may have got mad about it and took it up the chain, the command. I kind of just took it for what it was, you know. I was like, well, maybe it wasn't that serious of an infraction, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, you know. But like I said, at the end of the day, you got to use discretion. You got to be fair, firm, and consistent. And, you know, I want to leave y'all with this. You have to learn to choose your battles, you know. Some, like I mentioned, some things, they could just warrant you just giving the inmate a verbal counseling, or you could make them do extra duty. You know, oh, this inmate did this. You know, instead of writing them up, I'm gonna make him do some extra work around the unit. Go sweep up the main entrance to the unit. Go spray out the showers, clean the showers, stuff like that. You know, go clean up the pigeon poop that's on the walkway. You know, I've seen stuff like that. I've done stuff like that when the inmates get in trouble or they do something. You know, it's like an alternative style of correction. You know, you don't always have to resort to writing them up. You know, we trying to make them better people, but at the same time, holding them accountable. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. Follow me on IG, TikTok at The Ghetto Bodybuilder. I got merchandise for sale. Shop with me on my website, www.theghettobodybuilder.com. Y'all got any comments, questions, concerns, any ideas or topics for future videos? Drop a comment. I'll be sure to get back with you as soon as I can. Y'all know how we coming. Let's get motivated.